Ableton Live, okay? This is our first class, and many of you have never used this software before, and some of you have. And the first thing that I think we should talk about is the difference between session and arrangement view. And we did sort of touch on that earlier when we were discussing what makes Live different from Pro Tools and other DAWs. And so in the beginning here, you can very quickly tab between both views, and you can see your session view, which has your traditional tracks with the faders that you're probably familiar seeing mixing in Pro Tools, right? And your arrangement view, which is our horizontal arrangement. So we're going to be working through those two views today. But first, we're going to get set up. Does everybody have their software up and running? Yes, so let's maximize our screens. We've got these big, beautiful screens. So go ahead and take up the whole space with your screen. And if you're really, really studious and you like to work through lessons, when you first open Live, in the very far right corner, you've got Live Lessons. Do you see them? We're not going to use those for this class, but I highly recommend that you go through the tour of Live and the Live Lessons. Okay, so you can X out of that for today. That way we'll have the full screen real estate to do our work. Okay. Arrangement and session view. Let's start to take a mental note of all of our shortcuts. So tab switches between the two views. It's the quickest way to get there. If you forget, you can go to View at the drop-down menu at the top. Look for Arrangement or Session View. Which is faster? Tab. Let's let that be our first shortcut. Tab, 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 tab. Back and forth all day long, right? I have developed this muscle memory with shortcuts in Live, which is amazing because I don't even think about it. My brain wants to see the other side and it just hits the shortcuts. That's how I want you guys to feel when you read this fast, okay? What do you see in session view? You can call out stuff if you recognize it.
The mixer.
You see a mixer.
That's all the different instruments that are being used in the song, or like the
Okay.
sounds.
So over here on the left side, you have a browser that has a list of instruments. They have categories and places. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to go over those in detail as we go through the course. Okay, what else do you see?
Routing.
Routing, okay. Input, output. If you have glasses or really good eyesight, far right-hand corner, there's these little yellow little keys over here that help you to switch the input, output on. I'm going to point here, because if I zoom in, it goes away. You've got your input, output, your sends and returns, your mixer, and track delay, which is not turned on. So if it's grayed out, it's not in view. You can turn it on. You cannot break this. So click on all those little icons and see what pops up and see what happens. Okay. If you're setting up to be able to hear it in the piano roll, that's number 1, right? And then down here, we have a scale of 1 to 127 with a bunch of little, they look like needles. Does anybody know what those are? Velocity. What's velocity? How hard you hit something. So if I hit it hard and fast, really if I hit it fast, it's what?
127.
It's well, maybe if you get it right, yeah. It's louder, right? And if I hit it slow, it's softer. So that's velocity. It works on an acoustic piano. If you hit an acoustic piano key super slow, guess what? Nothing happens. Okay, that's by design. You hit it fast, what happens? Really loud. Okay, so you try to teach a little kid. It's not about how hard you hit the keys. It's about how fast or how slow you hit the keys. That's velocity. These indicate velocity of each individual drum kick. Now this is really cool. If you hover your mouse over the kick, you'll be able to see which one of these pins corresponds directly to that MIDI note. So we're going to try it. And we're going to move these velocity sticks, I'm going to call them velocity sticks, up and down so that everything's not exactly the same. Why would we do that? Dynamics.
Yeah, adds
Humanize.
a sense of realism.
Adds a sense of realism. What else does dynamics do? Tonal changes. What else do dynamics do?
It's interesting.
Gives it a good flow.
Interesting.
It's not robotic.
Space, right? Distance and space. So like you're over there, you're far away from me versus you're right up here, really close to me. Okay, so you get all that dimension. Electronic music that doesn't have any kind of velocity or dynamics to it sounds one-dimensional and boring, right? So we don't have to settle for that. We don't have to settle for boring. So if you watch, I'm going to pull up Ableton. Hover your mouse over your first MIDI note score. What happens to the velocity indicator? Oh, check this out. Whoop, 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 whoop. I want to work on velocity. I can't see it. It's so small. So make it bigger. All right. Remember, you can resize all of these windows. So hover it over. Changes color. How useful is that? Well, I can locate which velocity parameter I want to adjust. All right. So this is, which instrument is this? And it shows you, if you look up close, up to the top, it tells you the exact number that you're dragging that to. I'm at 103 right now. Okay, so take a moment and play around with your velocity on each one of these notes to hear what happens and to see how it changes. And then play your sample back. I don't like that. I don't like anything. Okay, so that's part of your compositional strategy for this. Everybody good on velocity? 0 to 127. Depth, dynamics. Getting comfortable with the MIDI note editor. We talked about the grid. Here's a diagram of beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. We talked about how to fix the grid. We talked about that. We talked about hot swap. Duplicated our clips. Now we do a bass track. Y'all ready for the bass? Okay. We're going to go to our library on the far left side. Okay, and you're going to look for categories, sounds, and bass. Categories, sounds, bass. Alright, so this is gonna be another one of those instances where you want to try out every single preset, right? So let's just pick one that speaks to you for now. But we're gonna create a new track that's gonna sit right next to our drum rack track. Okay? How do we do that? A couple different ways. There's a lot.
You just drag it out.
Drag it out into the open space that says drag and drop here. What else?
Just drop it onto the track itself.
Okay. You could create the track first. You could go up to create MIDI track, right? You could try double. What happens if you double click on it? You're gonna get so mad at me.
It'll take over what you got.
It'll take over whatever track you were just working on.
Probably the
How do you get out of that?
Control Z.
Control Z. Woo! Yeah. So you're safe. You're safe. All right. So let's find a new bass sound. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go for the warble bass. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. The wobble bass. Got a bunch of wobblers in here. Oh no. All right, so we're gonna try a little fun thing with the wobble bass or whatever bass you choose. We're gonna use our QWERTY keyboard, our computer keyboard, to play the bass. All right, I'm gonna show you a couple of shortcuts. That doesn't, to me, that's too high for a bass. I want it to play lower, and if you press the A key, you should hear a sound come out.
So,
You replaced your drum rack with wobble bass. There you go.
do I drop it here?
Yeah, drop it in here, anywhere
Oh,
in here.
okay.
Yeah, you're good. There you
There.
go. Good, good, good. Okay, see viewers is playing. Yeah. When you press the A, you should hear a C coming out. Okay. Alright, that's awful. So here's a little shortcut. If you're not listening, you'll miss it. On your QWERTY keyboard, if you press Z, it drops it down an octave. Press Z again, drops it down another octave. If you want to go in the other direction and go up, X. Go up, X. So press your A key, and then press your Z key. You basically have a piano keyboard laid out here. The letters on your QWERTY keyboard. I gotta change that out. HKL corresponds to what? Anybody? On your QWERTY keyboard. A, S, D, F, G, H, J. Connor. Piano major. Piano guy.
That'd just be the white keys on the piano.
It's the white keys on the piano. Good. Yeah. So it's a C major scale if you play it straight up and down. Okay. You're sitting on an airplane. You want to create a little bass line. Use your QWERTY keyboard. Okay. Just wanted you to know that you can do that, but we can go ahead and draw the notes in for the bass part now, just like we did for the drum rock. So we're going to create a super awesome bass line in the key of A minor.
Yes.
Here's how it's all the white keys on the piano.
So hard.
Okay. So how do we do that? How do we do that? You have somebody who wants you to produce a song for them in the key of A minor. You're not a music major. Oh boy. Need a
It's all
shortcut
white
from that.
keys.
It's all white keys, thank goodness. How do we find the A note in our MIDI note editor? Anybody?
It shows you on the side when you kind of hover.
Yep. Okay, so we've got, if you look up on my computer monitor here, I'm using my mouse to scroll up and down, and I've got E7, F7, what does the 7 represent? Anybody? A5, A4, C4? Octaves, good. Lower numbers, what do they mean?
Lower octaves.
Okay,
Extended.
so we're playing bass notes. Ooh, it's too high for bass notes, right? That's too low. So let's start in the A2 to A3 area for our bass notes. And I'm going to tell you what the notes are that you can use for the A minor scale. And we're going to create a really simple bass line. Let's pick 4 notes, okay? We're going to pick 4 notes. I'm going to write them down over here on this other board. It's going to blow your mind. A, C, E. Ace. You're going to ace this class. Three notes that you can use to create your bass line. Unless you are a music major or a piano player. Okay? Or unless you want to experiment. I'm giving you some parameters to slow it down. Start it up. All right, one more thing with your MIDI note editor. Fold. Hey, Ableton Live folds my laundry for me. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? What does that fold key do to your MIDI note editor? Anybody? I'm just standing behind you.
Makes a float.
Didn't mean to freak you out.
It just minimizes all the notes that you haven't used to put MIDI edits.
Right. It minimizes all the notes that you haven't used so that you can see the notes that you are using. Why is that really useful when you're composing?
Because if you're all over the place, you don't want to have to like scroll around and see where.
Yeah, because there's a lot of notes on there, right? There's essentially a full piano keyboard. If you've got 88 things to look at versus 5, how's your brain going to process that information? A lot faster, right? So once you've created your part, you can fold it, and that way you can see what's happening, okay? Right now, you have every possible note on the piano is available to you, so you're having to scroll up and down to look for those notes to play, right? And we're looking for like A2, A3. You're good, you're in that area. Yeah, and you're not gonna hear anything if your headphone icon, are y'all having a hard time hearing stuff? Remember your headphone icon? It has to be turned on to be able to hear the notes in that piano roll. So make sure that that's turned on. I see a couple of you. If you turn that on, right there, then you can actually click on the white and the black squares, and you'll be able to hear the sounds in there, okay? That's really helpful because if you're composing in the MIDI note editor, you don't have to go back to your QWERTY keyboard or your MIDI controller. You can just hear them as you're playing from here. Okay? So turn your headphone icon on. Yeah, that's gonna help you. Then you can play the notes that are on the piano. Okay. Okay, so you're working on a bass track right here, right? You've got your headphones on. Hit play for me. Now you're just doing the one note that you just played, and the play button here. And are you still not hearing anything?
Yep.
Okay, can you hear it now?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that play button always has to be.
Yes,
okay.
yes. If you want to hear the notes that you're working on, what do we have to do?
Turn the headphones on.
Turn the headphones on and
Hit the play button.
the play button inside the clip, right? Not the global transport play, the play, let me zoom out.
So if we want to make our bass line more than one bar,
Okay,
is there a,
yes,
I always just put it right here.
there's another way to do it
And I was
too,
gonna
I'll
do
show
it
you.
here, but this didn't work.
I'm going to show you. So Stuart asks if you want to make your clip longer, is there a way to do it? Of course there is. You can take this loop bracket here and you can drag it and make it as long as you want. Or, here's another way. Come down to your note edit window. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. Set your length to 4 or whatever number you want it to be, and it'll change it automatically. So if you know you want 4 measures, just type the number 4, hit enter, boom, you've got 4 instead of 1. Okay. Or you drag the loop brace out to make it that long. Okay.
How do you zoom in to your
How do you zoom in? Okay, so you have, let's
Or do
see.
you just like right click and change your
This
note
is
value?
your, if you're talking about zooming into the notes that you already had, hit fold. Let me show you a shortcut. I'm going to turn the pencil off for just a second. See that? You can create as many tracks as you want with as many clips in them and have fun launching them in any order that you want to and create a song. Okay? That's the beauty of working in session to arrangement view. I want you to experience the beauty. Okay? So some of us still just have one clip in our drum rack, so we gotta catch up, okay? All right, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna move on. See, I was so busy talking, I didn't get to do mine. I have one sad A note. Literally, that's all I have. Everybody take just a moment and let's look up, and I'm gonna show you. This is just a very quick way to create some extra clips so that we have something to work with for our experiment here today. All right, I'm gonna click on the clip and hit Command D, and I've duplicated the clip. So now I have 2 identical clips. Okay, I'm gonna come into my second clip, and I'm just gonna start deleting parts. But not all of them, okay, I'm creating layers. I'm just creating some different parts. So now I have with cowbell and without. Okay, step 2. Duplicate this clip, click on it, delete some more parts. Yeah, we're thinning it out. Now I have and I'm going to do it one more time and remove even more. So I have 4 distinct clips that were built from this main theme, and I just started to extract parts. Okay, this is just a little compositional tool that I use sometimes. I start with the big picture, and then I cut. Okay, and you might end up finding something really, really cool in that process of cutting and go, oh, I didn't hear that before because I put so much crap into the first clip. Listen to how amazing this really, really simple clip sounds. And then it also gives me just some variations on a theme to launch when I want to record into arrangement view. All right. I said 4, you can do as many as you want. Okay, some of you are still working on the most absolute perfect drum beat of all time. Or maybe you're just really unhappy with your drum beat and you're never gonna finish it. Yeah? You are type A. You just you just don't know it.
How do you get this to stop?
Okay, how do you get the clips to stop playing or flashing? Stop clip button. Stop clip button. Right here. It's gonna stop all the clips in this track.
What is the shortcut for that?
There's no shortcut. We can MIDI map something to it so that we can hit it on the controller. Alright.
Pretty fast.
You like it? Yeah? Okay. Alright. Everybody's working towards 4 clips. Anybody so proud of their work they want to share?
Oh, it's horrible.
I know you
There you go. There comes another good. It gets
Yeah,
better.
there's, yeah, there's,
It
it gets
actually
better
got
with
better.
less, right? It gets better with less. Okay. Yeah, we got some groove in that one for sure. Do you have 4 versions of it? Can you did you watch when I duplicated it?
Oh, dude,
So duplicate it and then cut some parts out of it. Duplicate that and cut some parts out of it. You'll have 4 different versions of the same theme. Okay. I just want you all to have some clips that we can launch into arrangement view because that's the fun part. That's where you get to start to put songs together. And our drum beats change over the course of the song, right? It's not the same thing the whole time.
I think I got. a
Did
couple
you win?
ready.
Are you the winner?
I guess, yeah.
Can we
say
say
some little?
Anyway.
Can we just save the I really do want to save.
You would, well, I'm going to teach you about the server that we have. We have a
Okay.
server where you can save your work. If you save it on this machine, it's not going to be here tomorrow. Okay. If you brought a flash drive, you can save it to a flash drive. We're going to open the Nexus server and save it onto the server. And that way, everything that we do in class, you'll be able to come into any of these computers and log in under your account and you'll be able to work on it.
Oh, okay.
Rock it
Yeah,
out.
all right. I
with
decided to
clips.
do something in a different
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of signature. 'cause-
Already like it.
Yeah.
Second clip.
Yeah, and I just took the,
Yeah.
started taking
Third.
the hi-hat out.
Oh, I think it's going somewhere. Last one.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was talking about. You have a theme and variations, right? It's
Yeah.
that easy. Okay. So if we're done with our I just gave it away. Done with your drum rack, done with your drum track for now. We're gonna
Bass
add
track.
a bass track, and then we're gonna start to trigger these clips into an order that becomes a song. Okay. Y'all are all creative though. Connor is gonna be stuck on the first clip for the next 6 hours. It's okay. I'm gonna let him sleep here tonight. Are you good? Are you good?
I'll get there, yeah.
Okay. He's a composer. That's his main gig, so it's really difficult to walk away from it. Hey, this is a musical tip, y'all. I'm a composer and a songwriter. Are you listening? It'll take just a brief moment. To write good music and produce good music, you have to make a lot of crap. That's all I wanted to say. So don't be afraid to make a turd. Just let it go, okay? Just make it, let it go. Make another one, let it go. All right? Don't get too attached to these. That's all I wanted to say. All right, let's create a bass track.